Hi, everybody. This is rhythm exercise group number 8. And we are introducing a new note type. It's been a while since we've introduced a new type of rhythm here. This is 16th notes, and we're doing them in groups of 4. Now, just to make sure, because it has been a while since we've introduced a new type of rhythm, I would advise you to go in your book and check out the music notation, the basics part. And specifically, there's a little part that's on notes and rests, just to make sure that you're calibrating yourself and you're not accidentally transposing one note type for another in your mind as you're looking at this and as you're remembering other things as we start to mix the rhythmic values. So 16th notes, so it's another fraction. So we started with the quarter note, a quarter of a measure. Then we did eighth notes, an eighth, so twice as fast as that, twice as many notes in the same amount of space. And now we're going to double that number again. 2 times 8 is 16. So 4 16th notes equals the same length of time as 2 eighth notes, equals the same length of time as 1 quarter note. So musically speaking, so that's just a proportionality statement. Musically speaking, what does that sound like? Well, before we get to the rhythmic vocab exercises in the book, I'm just going to do a quick back-to-back demonstration. And I'm going to do this at 72 beats, not 70, yeah, 72 beats per minute, which is right here. And I'm going to do 4 counts of quarter notes, 4 counts of eighth notes, and 4 counts of 16th notes. And I'm just going to count them out loud so you get a sense of how they go next to each other, right? And then we'll go into the rhythmic vocab. But this is just consider this a primer. 1, 2, ready, counting. Quarters, 2, 3, 4. Eighth notes, 2 and 3 and 4, and 16th notes, 2E and up, 3E and up, 4E and up. Right? So we're always doubling up the previous rhythm. That's a little prep. This, I think you guys will take to this easily because we've already established, how to play something and how to play something twice as fast. And the new counts, the the new syllables, all we're doing is we take our existing one and we put in between them. So we had one and, one and right? So that if you're going left to right, that's I think on your screen I'm going right to left. But if you're going left to right, you're just reading it across, and you'll see it on the page in your book as well. So anytime we have the beat number is the same. Anytime we have an and count, the and count is the same. And then the second 16th note within the beat is E. The fourth 16th note in the beat is It's spelled A, but we normally pronounce it short A, with a little curved line over it. So here we go, number 59. And you'll notice that we have within here some of these, we're going to have some different uses of repeat bar lines. That's those bar lines with the little wings on the end. Here's the only reason I introduced this notation. It's basically to keep the page as clutter-free as possible. I wanted to get as much use out of the page without having to copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, but still make you attentive to the slight details of the notation. So that's why the repeat bar lines are in there. So you notice in number 59, the first one in rhythm exercise group number 8, the first 4 bars are done twice, and then the second 4 bars are done twice. So I'm going to do it that way first, and if you need to practice it, you can go back and do it again. And then I'll do it without the repeats. So that's one way we can also alter these, is say with repeats, or the repeats are good, or the repeats are not good. We're going to play it straight through, avoiding the repeats. Here we go, number 59. 1, 2, ready and a go. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3, 4. Repeat. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3. Next line. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 E and a 1, 2, 3 E and a 4. Repeat. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 E and a 1, 2, 3 E and a 4. And again, that last measure, I'm putting some variation in there to make sure you're not just going, oh, I get the pattern, I'm not going to read anymore. So, and reading is a way of helping to keep your focus. By keeping your eyes on it, you're also keeping your mind on it, and you're not trying to just coast with it. Right? Let's do 59 again. No repeats. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 E and a 1, 2, 3 E and a 4. Moving on, number 60. So now we have 2 successive beats of 16th notes in a row, as opposed to only 1 beat at a time of 16th notes, where the beat has 4 notes, right? So a group, takadina. That's another way we could almost think about these, except that we're not always going to be playing all of them. So that's where that system doesn't all entirely import into using this, but there's some crossover in case you picked up on it. So with this one, and it's just to keep in mind that each group of 4 16th notes, that's 4 notes. Sometimes people consider 1 16th note to be the 4 note heads. It's sometimes a little confusion thing. Every time you see a black dot, that's a note, right? Just so that we're talking about the same thing, and we have like an understanding of a common base terminology. Number 60 with the repeats, and then number 60 without the repeats. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4 E and a 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4 E and a 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4. And now number 60 with no repeats. And again, remember, if you need to, when you're watching this video, if you need to go back and do something, if you need to hear it slightly slower, remember there's that on desktop versions of YouTube, there are those options to do a custom speed adjustment. So you can go like 95% of the speed of the video. You can go in increments of 5% all the way. And you can, of course, do it faster if you want to. Number 60, no repeats. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4 E and a 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4. Okay. And now, number 61. So this has a little bit of a rhythmic progression and regression. If you can see, each bar has quarter notes, then eighth notes, then 16th. So we're ramping up the rhythm, and then we ramp it down. But again, beware the end. Make sure that you're paying attention all the way to the very end of this. Let's do number 61. And the slower the rhythm, just as a reminder, the slower the rhythm, the more you can put some weight and some size to help you get really precise. Now, that last one that I did, number 60, I didn't start in tempo. And if I was my own student, I would have kind of raised an eyebrow at that performance right there, because that was not very precise of me to do that. So that's the level of precision. If you want to get really, really into this and be able to trust your sense of timing, one of the things you can listen for as you do these clapping things, obviously there's all kinds of other ways to test timing, but just when we're dealing with clapping as a way to get in the laboratory and just examine rhythm, really listen for an exact alignment. And so when I play these first 4 quarter notes of 61, I'm going to really try and make so that my clapping is happening precisely with the metronome. Number 61, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and. Okay, so hopefully you notice, especially my first measure, it was very, very right on the nose. So if you picture, I got a piece of chapstick here, right? So this is the beat, right? And this is the clap, right? You can get close, but see if you can get right on top of it, right? See if you can really hit that click, right? As we get better and better at this, right? Because then your fine tuning is going to pretty much guarantee that the big picture is going to be accurate, right? Okay, and now with number 61, you can also do it where you rewind it and wait for the first bar to go by on my performance of it. And then you started the first bar. So you're doing a 1 measure canon or a 4 beat canon where you're playing the same material. You know what a canon is, but just to make sure in this context, we're setting it up right. You know the material, you're doing the same material, but starting at just different times. Okay. Number 62. All right. So we have, this could be done as a duet, but we're going to start it with, again, both lines twice, then each line once, like we did before. But if you wanted to, one person could play that first line while someone else plays the second line, and then you swap, right? So that your 16ths and your 8th notes can kind of keep each other in check. That's one way to consider it. All right, 62 with repeats and then without. 1, 2, ready and go. And 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 and 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 and 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 and 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4. 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4. 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4. 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4. Great. Let's do this now without the repeats. Number 62, no repeats. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. 1 E and a 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 and 4. 1, 2 E and a 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4. 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4. All right, moving on. Now we get to the etudes. So this is if, especially if you don't have a musical, like a formal musical background where you sat down and you looked at pages of music and learned to read them. That sort of Western formal training. Looking at these pages, you're going to start to see. I don't know. This is the sort of impression I get when I look at this, even even now, and putting myself in your shoes, this is starting to look like some real stuff, right? So, like I said before, making sure that you're bringing to this all of the basic concepts that we talked about before, just understanding, okay, these notes are always this relationship. These meters always get counted this certain way. And again, we're doing everything at 72 beats per minute, kind of like a nice room temperature tempo. Not too fast, not too slow, not too hot, not too cold. It's Goldilocks in there. So the point with that is that because the tempo is not pushing you one direction or the other, that you can then really perfect what's going on within it. Number 63. So I'll just read this text here. These etudes, etude is French for study. In these studies, virtually every notated rhythm covered so far is involved. Additionally, the use of 3/4 and 5/4 time signatures and less repetition will require the performer to remain focused, right? Making sure that you don't drift off the page. That's another way to say it. It's going to require you to look ahead as you read, making sure that your eyes are looking beyond what your hands are doing at any given moment. And to, of course, count. Write in whatever counts you need. And then again, we got our little PRT and the 3X boxes. Just if there's a way for you to keep track of that in some way, either digitally or on a separate piece of paper, or for the print version of this book, when that will exist. It doesn't exist currently, but it will exist again. Just a good way to give you a little bit of extra confidence that you've covered the material. So, number 63, we are in what time signature? Say it. We're in 3/4. And we also have some quarter rests put back into the mix. The more rest there is, the more likely you're going to come in early after it, right? The more silence there is, the less comfortable we are gauging where that silence ends. So that's where the counts, and especially an internalized count, really, really comes in handy. Let's do number 63. And I'm going to do these as written right now. There are no repeats on 63, 64, 65. Number 66, however, does have a repeat in there. So I'm going to take that when I get to it. Number 63. 1, ready, go. 1E and a 2, 3. 1E and a 2, 3. 1E and a 2, 3. 1E and a 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. E and a 1, 2, 3. E and a 1, 2 and 3. Making sure that you're still showing the rest. Show the silence in there. Here's number 64. 1, 2, ready, go. 1E and a 2. 1E and a 2. 1E and a 2 and 1E and a 2. 1, 2E and a 1. 2E and a 1 and 2E and a 1 and 2. 1E and a 2. 1, 2E and a 1, 2, 1 and 2. So now 63 and 64. 63 is in 3/4. 62 is in, I'm sorry, 64 is in 2/4. But they both have the same number of beats. So if you really want to test your confidence, clap one while I'm performing the other. Right? You can go back. That's a real test. And then if you end with bump bump those last two eighth notes in line, you'll know that your counting is pretty solid, because even in the context of hearing a completely other count for a lot of it, you're able to land solidly. So that's one way to test. You don't have to do that, but it's one way. It's one way I designed this material. So if you wanted to, you could test yourself. And it's kind of cool to kind of land on your feet after all that metric dissonance. Number 65, right? Longer measures, right? Making sure that you remember to count all the way up to 5 here. What comes after 4? 5. What comes after 5? 1. Here we go. Number 65. 5 counts to go. I'm going to have it just do the metronome. It by itself is going to go 5 clicks, and then we start. So this is a different way to start. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 E and a 1, 2, 3 E and a 4 and 5 E and a 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4 and 5 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 1 E and a 2, 3 E and a 4, 5 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and. I composed that last measure particularly because a lot of times people want to give up before the end of those types of measures. Go all the way to the end. And lastly, number 66. Number 66. And we have, by the way, the reintroduction of our good old friend, the eighth rest, right? Making sure that you keep that eighth note present in your mind. Eighth rest will be a piece of cake. But again, if you need to write in counts, be my guest. Go for it. Whatever gets your hands to clap the right rhythm, whatever gets you to understand the pacing of this and how the beat versus the activity relate. Whatever works. Number 66. We're back in good old 4/4. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 E and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and a 1, 2 and 3 E and a 4 and 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2, 3, 4 and. Making sure that you wait all the way to the end of that measure. So in the same way that the end of 65, people tend to end early, same deal with 66, but there's just some silence put in there. So this will conclude this rhythm exercise group. And just make sure that you're taking good notes, whether you're doing the digital version or the print version. The more you actively participate in what you're seeing, the better your results are going to be the next time you come to the material. And I will see you, speaking of next times, I will see you next time.